Student participants say the research component of NACP is the most valuable part of the program. Inside NAU's Charlie Hicks has more.
Thanks, Teresa. One group of students has been studying uranium levels near abandoned mines on the Navajo Reservation. These mines were never fully remediated, which has led to elevated levels in the environment. Irvin Woody is part of a group of students gathering water samples north of Flagstaff. Samples are being collected at several locations on the Navajo Reservation, so levels of uranium and the water's basic chemistry can be examined. Not far from this unregulated well is the site of an old uranium mine, one of hundreds of open abandoned mines on the vast Navajo Reservation. Projects like these are providing researchers and policymakers with data to better understand the problem.
There's a lot of questions as to what this sort of chronic, slightly elevated levels of uranium does to people in general. So it's important to the Navajos, but I think it's also important to anyone who's living near that type of environmental hazard.
Woody lost his grandparents to cancer, which is part of why he's here, participating in the NACP. When he returns home, he hopes to communicate his knowledge about uranium with others.
You know, my family, they've been exposed to it. Anything from livestock to drinking water. Out there on the reservation, that's all we lived on. And it's something that, you know, I would want to share with my elders back at home.
Along with gathering water and soil samples on the reservation, Woody has spent a good amount of time here in Dr. Janie Ingram's lab, where researchers have spent years analyzing uranium.
So we still have to calculate the 238 and the amount of uranium in the soil. There's still a bunch of calculations that we have to do.
In the lab, Woody has worked closely with Sarah Asselin. They're using a rhamnolipid and several types of water, working to determine which formula extracts the greatest percentage of uranium from the soil. It's a step in the bigger process of evaluating the health risks of uranium exposure.
We know there's uranium all over the reservation. It's a naturally occurring element. It's on the Earth's crust everywhere. That's why they did the mining in Cameron, is because there is high levels of uranium there to begin with. Hopefully this technique, if it works, will eventually maybe some sort of remediation process to help clean up heavy metals in the soil, water.
This Native American Cancer Prevention Partnership with the University of Arizona is an opportunity to find answers to questions.
Essentially, the abandoned mines on the Navajo Reservation are really a huge issue because they weren't remediated very well. And so it's very important to the Navajo people to understand what they're being exposed to. And so what we have been doing is trying to characterize all the different ways that people can be exposed to environmental uranium, and then working with the Arizona Cancer Center to see how that might cause cancer.
The long-term objective of this research is to explore the relationship between cancer disparities for the Navajo Nation and chronic exposure to environmental uranium. Northern Arizona University has been working closely with the Navajo Nation on this project.
Thanks, Charlie. The analysis of water and soil samples in Dr. Ingram's lab is ongoing.